Welcome to the Texas Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us this evening. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. If your question is for a specific rep, just make sure to put the name of the school in your question so they know it's for them. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to sign up for additional ones where you signed up for this one. And this presentation is being recorded. It will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Texas. Here is the order of the presentations in this session. We're in session B3, right smack dab in the middle of the screen. And you can see those are the 6 schools that we will hear from during this session. So I've gotten the housekeeping stuff out of the way, so I will step out of the way and turn it over to our first presentation, the representative from Beloit College.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thanks for spending a little bit of time learning about all of our schools. My name is Emily McEntee, and I'm the Associate Director of Admission here at Beloit College. And so I am going to kick us off with a few numbers, but that's because we think that numbers really do start to tell a story here at Beloit. So we are a diverse community of identities and interests. We give students opportunities to embrace interests that transcend their majors and what they see on their degrees by graduation day. We are principled and purposeful, cohesive and committed. And when we aspire to strengthen our commitment to being an anti-racist campus, our effort involves students, faculty, staff, everyone united in pursuit of that one goal. We offer an education that connects students very directly with the rest of the real world, so that when you graduate, you feel prepared for that next step and have a clear head about where you're going. We are also a community that's built on relationships. So through our advanced mentoring program, you're matched with a faculty advisor within 3 days of the time that you tell us that you're coming to Beloit. And so your advisor works with you on your transition to college. Your advisory group becomes your first circle of peers that you're getting to know even before you get to campus. And the AMP program guides you through making the best of your college experience and planning for the future over the course of those first 2 years. And as your focus develops, you can choose a career channel. And those are designed to help you broaden your expertise and professional connections in an area of focus, such as health and healing, justice and rights, business and economics. Channels go beyond majors. They promote learning from other perspectives. So an example of that would be a data analytics major who wants to apply their skills to population health. So they join the health and healing channel and they'll learn a great deal, not only from the students on your traditional path to medical school, but also from the students approaching health and healing from the lens of anthropology or dance or political science. Forming the foundation for all of this is every single member of the faculty and staff united in helping you develop your 4 key capacities necessary to developing a flourishing career and a meaningful life. We're also a residential campus, and all of the areas that you see here are important to the life of a Beloit College student. The first there is the powerhouse. It's our brand new student union that combines group fitness and varsity athletics spaces with places that are for hanging out and having a meal with your friends. It truly is a spectacular space that has really helped us social distance, but also help our students still feel connected to each other. The Health and Wellness Center is also located inside the powerhouse, and they offer free counseling services and they promote wellness activities on campus. As you can see there, we also do have 18 different varsity teams that compete within Division III athletics. So that's a big part of our students' lived experience and getting to continue on with that. We know that what you eat and where you live is really important. So we have lots of housing options and a food service provider that's committed to locally sourced foods whenever possible. And whether you want to join or start your own club, get a ride to the grocery store, find out what band was playing at Folk and Blues, the Student Engagement and Leadership Office really has your back there. And then work study is built into the fabric of Beloit College. Students get valuable resume building experience in a variety of academic and non-academic areas on campus. So responding to a pandemic last spring was a challenge that none of us anticipated. But at Beloit, we quickly determined that not only were we not going to be stopped by this, but that COVID would actually serve as a catalyst to an even better experience for our students. So the result was the Beloit Action Plan, which is a suite of academic, personal, and financial support programs for our students, which also includes AMP and channels. And those have really served as models for other schools. But we didn't only create a better experience for our students, we did it with our students, right? So we knew that the best way to succeed at being on campus in person this past fall was to have our students as experts in how this would work for them and engage them in that effort. So the result was a realistic and safe set of behavioral guidelines developed by students for students, and they owned that. And we had a really successful and safe time on campus in the fall, and that's how it's also going this spring too. Innovative, collaborative, relationship-based, our campus's response to COVID tells you pretty much everything you need to know about being a Beloit student and how we'll prepare you for life after graduation. But of course, since I started with numbers, I also have to end with a few numbers too. So you'll see a little bit about our admissions info there. We are on the Common application in addition to having our own Beloit College specific app, but we are test optional. And when I say that, we are test optional for admission and for merit scholarship consideration. So truly, we don't need to see those to know that you could be a spectacular student at Beloit. We're going to look at your transcript, what kind of classes you've chosen to take, all of the nice things one of your teacher says in a letter of rec, your extracurriculars and how you spend time with your family or in clubs or working. And then also your essay and what you choose to share with us about your experience or goals or identities. So that's what we really focus on. I work with students from Texas, so never hesitate to reach out. And I also work with all of our undocumented students. So if that's an identity that you have, you can feel free to contact me and we can talk through what that process looks like. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will remind any of our attendees if they came into the room late, use the Q&A button to ask questions of any of our presenters. You can do that at any time. Up next, we'll hear from our representative from Lawrence University.
Hi, everyone. Thanks again for spending some time with us tonight. My name is Galen, and I'm one of our Associate Directors of Admissions up in Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin. I am actually from Houston myself, and so while I've been here for about 8 years, I have loved getting to work with our Texans and encouraging others to think about a snowy life beyond the Texas borders, though now you guys have probably experienced some snow this year that you may not want to relive. So we can certainly chat more about what that kind of change in experience is like moving to the Midwest. But a little bit of the basics. Lawrence is actually made up of 2 different schools. About 75% of our students are studying in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. That's going to be all the majors you typically hear about, from math and business to English, psychology, economics, those kinds of major ones. But then about a quarter of our students are actually studying in our Conservatory of Music. That's either in music performance, theory, education, or composition, as well as some programs like in jazz studies and improv that we've started recently as well. We have about 1,500 students overall, so pretty small. That's actually about a third of the size of my high school. So if you're from any of those giant public schools, it is certainly a place where you're going to see a lot more intentional opportunities. Similar to my colleague Emily, who just presented from Beloit, there's going to be so much of that individual attention from your professors. In fact, we have about an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio here. And that means that everything is going to be about your undergraduate experience. You'll also have the opportunity to design your own one-on-one courses. This is a really great way for motivated students with very specific interests to do whatever it is that they want to do. So think about intensive research projects or that question that's been keeping you up at night that you don't think anyone else is interested in. There's certainly going to be professors here that want to help you find that space. In order to get you ready for that, though, all of our students start out in our first year studies program. While you'll have a choice in everything else that you take here at Lawrence, first year studies is the only class that every single student is required to take. You're broken into groups of 15 and taught by any professor on campus, but all learning the same syllabus that'll span literature, art, music, science. I also love to highlight just how different the types of pieces are. We ensure that there goes beyond kind of a white Western perspective and a lot of focus on more modern pieces, on those things that really can excite joy in us. It really introduces you to what it is like to read and write and speak and argue at a college level. And I think it really helps our students with their transition into what the next 4 years are going to look like. Here, what that time looks like is really going to depend on your interests. However, some things that I think are most important to our students is certainly that research opportunity. Research and experiential learning here has grants available up to about $5,000 per project that you might want to pursue. So we've seen everything from students testing the effects of drugs on fission in little rat families to building a catapult. We had a classics and physics double major who wanted to build a catapult and launch something across campus. They've funded volunteer work, social justice projects, anything that you can imagine. We want to help our students succeed in. The same certainly goes for internship opportunities. Nearly all of our students will complete internships during their time here, and we want to ensure that if you want to go study in San Francisco or New York or wherever you want to be with those crazy high rent prices, we're going to be able to help with some of that funding to support whatever your dreams are in that next career step as well. And then lastly, I would say outside of the classroom, study abroad is a huge part of what we do. Certainly something our students are missing a lot of this year, but typically we would have about 50% of our students studying abroad at Lawrence. We have our own campus in London, which you see a picture of there. That's not our campus, but that's London. And then we have about 50 different programs all over the world that students can choose from. I think being outside of the classroom is just as equally important. So just know we have about 150 different clubs and organizations here, everything from your standard student government all the way to like a beekeeping club and recess club where you play kickball at lunch, dozens of music ensembles. All of our music opportunities are open to non-majors, 22 different Division III sports teams. And our students are truly coming from all over the world. We're about 15% international, about 25% domestic students of color, and just a huge community of students that you can certainly find your place here. If you're better at math than I am, you can add really fast and see that 99% of our students have found their place within 6 months of graduation. So I think when you really combine this intensive community and this excited kind of rigorous learner, our students tend to be really curious. They just really love to be part of something. And so that Career Services Center brings all of that together through our career communities, where they're going to help you learn how to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, in working in the arts, really focus on what that next step will look like for you. And then finally, to really help you get there, we want to make sure that not only through our admissions process are we supporting you, but also through financial aid. We're really excited to have just completed our Full Suite to Full Need campaign, as well as our Be the Light effort, which raised about $240 million over the past 5 years. So we are very close to meeting full need for all of our students through a combination of both merit, so those scholarships that we earn, as well as need-based aid, those scholarships that we need in order to support us. And then lastly, because we get these like 6 or 7 minutes and it's so like such a flurry, please feel welcome to take a screenshot or find me online. I work with all our students from Texas and I'm always happy to connect. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you very much. And if any of our attendees have questions of any of our presenters, I've said it before and I'll say it again, use the Q&A button. If it's for a specific presenter, just name the school in your question so they know it is for them. Up next, we will hear from the representative from Marquette University.
This is always the most nerve-wracking part, all of these months later. But thank you so much. All right, to start off, as Galen said, our time together is so tragically short. So I hope that this is the beginning of a long conversation as you start your college search or as you complete your college search and decide where you want to be next year. So please do take down my contact information, my phone number. My name is Hannah and I am the admissions counselor that works with all Texas students. And I certainly have been keeping you and your family and communities in my thoughts with all that you've been going through this month. So I'm so grateful that we were still able to connect, even a little bit later than we thought that we would. So to start off, some obligatory stats that start to give a sense of what Marquette is all about. So I always sound like a broken record in saying that we are the best of both worlds, but that is the best way of encapsulating this place. From this slide, you can see that the numbers are big in the exciting ways and small, but it's really important to commit to things like small class sizes and instilling in you that sense of academic belonging. So I hope this is good news to you all, but if you are not in class, your professors will know because they will know your name. Our average class size is 23. Our student to faculty ratio is 14:1. We are a medium-sized institution of about 8,000 undergraduates. So we're so proud. Again, of one side, we still have the small class sizes. On the other side, we live in an age inundated with choice, and your college campus should be no exception. So we have over 80 different majors, over 325 student organizations. So if you were involved in high school, you will be able to be involved here at Marquette. We are certainly proud of our 14 Division I athletic programs, and then we have over 60 club level and intramural level sports as well. So everything from Quidditch to inner tube water polo, which if you haven't seen before, please look up. It'll give you a good chuckle. We are located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is certainly a beautiful backdrop. When you choose your college campus, you are certainly choosing the extended context, and we are invested in our community and love that we are a city full of urban opportunity and energy, but simultaneously we're in the Midwest. So my experience relocating here from Colorado has been that you can have both opportunity and people that will make small talk with you. And that has certainly influenced our campus and made us all that much more of a community, both on campus and off campus. So to touch base a little bit about the academic experience, I mentioned that we have 80 different majors. They are located across all 7 of these. So when you apply to Marquette, you will choose to apply directly to one. That doesn't mean that you can't change your mind. In fact, changing your mind is encouraged, and we welcome undecided, or as we prefer to call them, multi-interested students, and encourage you to explore in the course of your time with us. But about half of those majors are located in the College of Arts and Sciences, where you would find everything from history, English, biological sciences, you name it. All of our campuses, all of our colleges, but certainly the College of Business and College of Communication benefit from the fact that we have robust relationships with Fortune 500 companies locally. We have a zealous alumni network, many of whom come from out of state and then choose to stay in Milwaukee, many of whom go back to their hometowns across the country, but want to host students for job shadowing programs or to hire our students. So we have career services per academic college, and it's hard to get out of a Marquette education without at least 2 internships. College of Education is where we create our well-rounded urban educators, and these students are double majoring in their subject area and in their age group. College of Engineering is home to the oldest co-op in the state of Wisconsin, which is a 2-semester and 1 summer full-time paid internship program. So if you can imagine being an undergraduate who also has an income, you will suddenly be responsible for paying for the dinner or the night out for your friend group, but it also has an 100% job placement rate. So phenomenal opportunity for those students. College of Health Sciences is where you would find students interested in the health professions like physical therapy, physician assistant studies, athletic training, speech pathology. It's also home to the creepiest series of rooms on campus, which is our gross anatomy lab. So if you want to talk about hands-on experience, come on down and take a tour of that space. And College of Nursing is a close second for creepy rooms on campus, and that would be our simulation lab. And since we really care about patient care and the Jesuit tradition as a Jesuit university, our nurses get to spend the first 2 years in this space before advancing to their guaranteed clinicals their junior year. So as we talked about, backdrop is really important to us. This is the perfect cultural, aesthetic, professional backdrop you could want out of your college town. We are 1.5 miles from the beautiful Lake Michigan, so we certainly offer students the opportunity to be on sailing clubs, kayaking clubs, you name it, but also just tap into that beautiful natural resource that we have so close to us. Here are a few of the downtown neighborhoods that our students find themselves in. Pfizer Forum is where our Marquette men's basketball team gets to play. And though they would never, ever appreciate me saying this, it definitely feels like an extension of our campus. So many districts that you get to explore, all within 30 minutes on the bus, and you'll get a bus pass with the cost of tuition. I want to take a moment to zoom into Marquette's campus specifically. Again, that best of both worlds expression. You can totally use us as a jumping off point, but we love that we are largely residential. You'll live on campus the first 2 years. Heaven forbid, you'll want to spend time with each other, because whether it's a weekend or a weekday, there is something happening on Marquette's campus, as we know that it's really important from a programmatic standpoint to encourage you to be with each other. So I will stop presenting, but looking forward to continuing the conversation down the line.
Thank you very much. And any questions that come up during the session, please use the Q&A button to ask of any of our presenters. And if it's for a specific school, just name the school in your question. Up next, we'll hear from the Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Weston, and I work in traditional admissions at MSOE. So the first slide here just goes over some numbers. Here at MSOE, we are located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, not too far from Marquette University as well. MSOE does offer a 4-year graduation guarantee. All students on campus have the ability to graduate in 4 years with a degree in engineering, or also degrees in actuarial science, nursing, and computer science. MSOE is a very small university, 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So students will know your name, professors will know your name as well from day one of classes. They will know your career aspirations. Also, they will know what you want to do as far as internships while you are at MSOE. On campus, we have about 2,800 students. Also, that number does include students who are at graduate level classes as well. Also, we have 15 majors and 13 minors, which I will go over in the next couple slides. And also 96% graduation outcome rate. That is working within an engineering field and also going to grad school within 6 months of graduation. Also, a very nice number is the starting salary for students coming from MSOE is about $65,000 per year. Coming out of college at 21, 22 years old, that is a very great salary to start off with. It can definitely get you on the right track with paying off any loans you might have while you were in school. MSOE also offers 20+ NCAA D3 programs, 23 to be exact. Every sport here, pretty much besides football, which is pretty common for universities in this area. The biggest sport here on campus, as you can see in the top left corner, is ice hockey. We actually do have an ice hockey arena on our campus, which is really great. Attendance-wise, it's the biggest sport on campus. And also students can utilize the hockey arena as well for open skate nights that they offer after the games for a couple hours. And we also do have a broom ball league as well that does play on the ice. As well, on campus, we have 99+ organizations, a very wide variety, anything from our Baja and Formula One racing teams, all the way down to our unicycling club, which was just created a couple years ago. So in high school, if you're a part of any organizations, chances are they'll be at MSOE as well. MSOE also offers a very hands-on experience with professors. Every class here is taught by faculty. We don't have any TAs here at MSOE, and all faculty members have at least 5 years of experience working in their field, which is nice. They will have industry connections that you can always utilize as far as internships or even full-time jobs after graduation, as well as offering senior design project ideas for you to do in your last year in your engineering major. We are also located downtown Milwaukee, residence halls as well. We do have two traditional underclassmen residence halls, and one actually is being redone as we speak, and it will be finished and ready to move into starting September this fall. And that residence hall is called Viet's Tower. And students on campus, 100% of them who apply to MSOE will receive financial aid. And this list here does show our academic majors on campus. So as you can see, and as you can imagine, we do offer many engineering majors at MSOE, the biggest one being mechanical engineering. Also, pretty big major on campus is architectural engineering and computer science. Computer science is one of the new majors on campus. It's been around MSOE for about 3 years now, and it is fast growing. Also, a very popular major at MSOE is nursing. Nursing program here is accelerating really quickly. We actually just built a whole new area in our program over the summer because we had so many more applications this past spring. In large part due to the COVID-19 outbreak, we had a large increase in those applications this summer. And also just want to reiterate that 4-year graduation guarantee that MSOE does provide to students. Every student here, for every major, your coursework is pretty much laid out for you for all 4 years. Other required courses are kind of laid out for you. And also in between those classes, you do have electives built in as well, where you can pick up a minor or take classes that you can specialize in certain areas of your major. For example, mechanical engineering, you can also go into aerospace, automotives, HVAC, fabrication as well. If you are a high school senior, strongly encourage you to apply to MSOE. Our application, of course, is now open, and we are also rolling admission, so you can apply pretty much whenever you want to. If you want to apply in July, we don't recommend it, but if you want to, you definitely can. And for this year, we are not requiring any test scores at all. So for us, it is just sending in your high school transcripts to give you a decision on your admission. Thank you, guys.
Very much, and questions can be sent using the Q&A button at any time. And if it's a specific question for one school, just name the school in the question. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from Northland College.
All right. Just get my screen to share here. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Good to be here and talking about Northland College. My name is Alex Patterson, Associate Director of Admissions at Northland. And I'm pretty excited to be sharing some content about Northland. We are about to come into our 130th anniversary as an institution. So we've been around since 1892. And we're one of the nation's leading environmental colleges, as well as one of the nation's leaders for sustainability-based curriculum. So that's really our big kind of draw and why students find us and discover us. But additionally, one of the big things that really define Northland is where we're located. So unlike some of the other Wisconsin schools we've heard from today, Northland's pretty much as far north as you can get without essentially going for a swim in the lake. And even then, Lake Superior is only about half a mile from campus. So if you want to go for a swim on one of those good days, you're not too far off from that type of opportunity here with the institution. Additionally, we have about 1 million acres of natural forest around campus and about 44,000 acres of marine sanctuary, all located right in your backyard. That's not only your classroom, that's also your playground and campground. And you have access to all of that, whether it's gear rentals through the campus or just different clubs and sports and organizations that way to engage with the region as well. Now, we're located in Ashland, Wisconsin, which you can see our campus there on kind of the middle of the screen, and the proximity to Lake Superior there. Ashland itself has about 8,200 people. One of the nice things about that is you get a really nice kind of rural setting that's really well connected. It's the kind of place where you go to the local coffee shop and they're going to know what you want to order long before you even get to the counter, because they get to know you one-on-one, and you just have that personal connection not only to your colleagues on campus, but to the larger community as well there. So it's a really fun place to just get out and meet new people and meet people of different backgrounds, just given the amount of tourism in the region. Now, that sense of community extends not only to our campus, right? So you can get involved, we have over 30 different clubs and orgs. We have different opportunities for engaging in music groups with both the students on campus as well as the community. But the nice thing about Northland is we have just over 600 students at our college. So we are definitely one of the smaller schools in the state, which allows you to kind of know everybody on a first name basis. You're going to know your professors on a first name basis. And odds are the president of the college is going to come and bother you while you're eating lunch in the student center. That's just how he is. And that extends throughout everything that we do as an institution. Now, again, I mentioned at the start here that Northland has a really unique approach to our academics as well as our culture on campus. We're a member of the Eco League, which is a domestic exchange program with 6 colleges across the country that are all uniquely environmental. We've completely divested from fossil fuels. We're Sierra Magazine's Cool School. And we've also entered the Real Food Challenge, which is an opportunity for us to look at our local food consumption through our food center and really champion our way into having a food center on campus of about 60% of our food from local production. And fun fact, we're also Wisconsin's first bee campus. So we have a lot of work supporting pollinators in our campus gardens as well. And you're going to find that type of mentality brought into all of our 40+ academic programs. So you're going to see components of social justice and social awareness, environmentalism and environmental studies, as well as sustainability. And within all of these majors, you have that room to explore, take multiple majors, multiple minors, and really cater your education around your passions and backgrounds within all of that. Additionally, we do have athletics like many schools. You can see our different teams listed there. And right now, about 30%, 38% of our student population are student athletes as well. So you're definitely going to either be able to go and support your fellow colleagues in athletics or be able to join yourself, whether that's at the NCAA level or just for fun on your free time there. You get to go out in the field, you get to have that firsthand experience in the National Forest, working with our research sites and our off-campus research centers as well. That's a big part of your time in your 4 years at Northland, is getting out and exploring the National Forest, going out on a sailboat, pulling samples of water from the lake and bringing that back to our labs where you'll have that firsthand one-on-one experience with your faculty to run those tests. You can apply to Northland very easily. It's completely free. We don't require letters of recommendations. All we need are a copy of your transcripts. And don't worry, like many schools, we're not requiring the ACT or SAT. Currently, we know that COVID has created a lot of challenges for that. And while our cost of attendance is right around $49,000, nobody pays that. Each student is guaranteed at least $19,000 for their academic scholarships, as well as additional merit-based aid to support you with that as well. And then, of course, you can file the FAFSA, or if you're unable to file the FAFSA, you can work with your admissions counselor to receive additional aid as well. Again, know that we're always here and happy to support you with whatever your future holds. We certainly hope to see you apply to Northland. You can always reach out to our general lines there or reach out to myself at apatterson@northland.edu. Again, thank you everybody for being here tonight. It's really exciting to meet all of you, and thank you for allowing me to present here today.
Thank you very much. And one more reminder about questions. They can be asked at any time. Just use the Q&A button to ask a question of any of our reps, whether they're during their presentation or if they've already presented. Up next, we'll hear from the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
All righty, thank you so much. I'm just gonna try and figure out how to turn the slideshow on. My name is Sarah Blank. I'm the West Coast admissions representative, but I actually also serve the Southwest. So I am your person out there in Texas. So I'm very happy to help and assist in any way that I can when it comes to University of Wisconsin-Madison. To share with you a little bit tonight, UW-Madison is located, and you guessed it, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison's a really unique place. We are a college town. We're also a capital city, and we have a really fun vibe. It's a very young and fun place to be. Very active community. You can see that this picture particularly, we are located right between two lakes on an isthmus. And so our students are incredibly active outdoors and engaged in both the Madison community and of course on campus. And it's really important that when you're factoring in where you want to spend the next 4 years of your college education, picking an environment that's going to be conducive to your overall engagement in the university, but also a supportive environment. And that's exactly what UW-Madison is. So while our students are academically competitive coming out of high school, and they are academically strong coming out of high school, they're walking into a very supportive academic community at UW-Madison, where it's more collaborative, it's not competitive with each other. And that's one thing that our students really love about our community at UW-Madison in general. Flying to Madison isn't as hard as it looks, or that you might think it is. We do actually have an airport in Madison, and then several others that surround the area. So lots of fun and exciting experiences in Madison directly. As a university, we're really proud of what we represent. We're really proud of our recognition around the world for the level and the caliber of education that our students receive, and the connections and the abilities that they will have by engaging with fellow students and our professors on our campus. But what I really want to share is more about the Wisconsin idea. And I think that really demonstrates at our core who we are and what we're about as a university. The Wisconsin idea is our guiding principle, that everything we do at the university should be used to impact the world around us for good. So when we look at our 8th and national rank in research expenditures and 1st ranking in Peace Corps volunteers, that goes back to the Wisconsin idea that our students are engaged in global citizenship, they're engaged in public service, they're very active in the community, not just in Madison, but also around the globe, and using what they do in the classroom to better the world around them. And when we're looking for students through the application process, we want to hear, in what ways are you passionate about being part of your community? In what ways have you contributed to your communities? Because that goes right back to that Wisconsin idea. A lot of different academic options to study and programs and majors. These are the 8 schools and colleges at the university. So within each of these houses all of our different majors and what we call certificates. We don't do minors, we do certificates. These are areas of specialization that will really round out your curriculum and allow you to balance out what you're doing as a major with other areas of interest that might be complementary to your major, or just something that interests you. A couple of things to note: our music and dance programs do require an audition as well as the application. Our School of Business and College of Engineering both have direct entry programs. So students who are interested in being considered for direct entry, we ask that you put that as your first choice and preference on the application. Lots of things to do. Like my colleague said here today, a big part of that college experience is finding your sense of community. And at UW-Madison, our students do that in a wide variety of ways, whether that's being active in different intramural or sport clubs, attending big sporting events. We are part of the Big Ten Athletic Conference. We have over 1,000 student organizations. A lot are related to your academic major and then outside interests as well. So finding that balance in terms of being involved and being engaged in the classroom and also outside the classroom is really what rounds out that experience at UW-Madison. And it's very easy to make a large school small by finding that sense of home, by putting yourself out there. And the types of students who do really well at a large institution like us with 30,000 students is that you are being active and you're putting yourself out there and getting involved right away from the time that you start on campus. That's incredibly important, and that's how a lot of our students find success. Other ways of doing that is by joining first-year interest groups. So these are really unique programs or classes that are structured together, so you are with the same cohort of students. We have residence halls on campus. We have learning communities within our residence halls. We have a lot of different programs for research and study abroad programs, of course. So there's so many different ways based off of your own interest that at a large institution like UW-Madison, you can take advantage of. Lastly, we do have 2 deadlines for incoming freshman students. November 1 is our early action deadline. Regular decision is February 1. We conduct a holistic review. We're looking for students who have challenged themselves academically within the context of your school. So we do ask for 2 essays. We ask for a letter of recommendation, and then we are test optional through spring of 2023. But you certainly can find more information about our admission process, as well as our scholarship process and how students can apply for scholarships through our website, admission.wis.edu, which will be at the end. Any sort of financial assistance that's need-based aid comes through FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, as we are a public institution. And then we're hosting a lot of really great virtual programming right now on our website, on Facebook and Instagram as well. So lots to choose from in terms of your research and navigating this whole process. And we're always happy to help. Thanks for joining tonight.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to invite all of our presenters back camera and on microphone. And I'll do a quick little I don't know, I'll call it a fake talk show, if you will, but we'll do a quick little round robin Q&A on the 5 minutes we have left to get a little more advice or a little more info for our attendees, both those who are attending live and those who are accessing this through the recording. And the first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process right now? We'll start with Beloit College.
Okay, so I mean, I think I would say put at least one school on your list that scares you a little bit. You know, maybe you're scared of a big school, or going to somewhere small terrifies you, or somewhere really far away, or it's terrifying to stay close to home. But just put one school on. And I'm a little biased because that's the school that I ended up choosing when I was going through the college search, but I really think it helps keep your options open.
Lawrence University.
I would recommend asking to talk to a student at that school. I love all the people on this call, and I've known many of them for many years, so they're good, truthful, wonderful people, but I can also say most of us are 30. So I really recommend talking to someone who's currently there, just to hear a little bit more of their perspective and what a day-to-day is like. I think that was a huge help for me, and I was not able to visit colleges and ended up moving across the country to go to college. So I thought that was a tremendous help in getting to know students at each place.
Marquette University.
I'm going to go for silver lining of the pandemic. As Sarah commented about it at UW-Madison, I know is the case for all of us, that we have put so much work this year into adapting and putting out virtual content. And we're not just going to delete that when we're all back to being in person come fall. So whether it's meeting an uncool 30-year-old admissions counselor via virtual office hours, or whether it's signing up for a student's virtual office hours or doing a virtual tour, most of them have advanced far past a drone above the campus. So please do continue to utilize those, and there's really no excuse to not explore schools that you don't have the ability to visit right now or down the road.
Milwaukee School of Engineering.
I would say very similar to Emily, visiting any school that, a big school, a school in the middle of nowhere, a school in a downtown setting, to see where you feel comfortable. You might think that I don't belong in a big city, but you actually might end up loving it, or you might feel like I don't belong somewhere that's in the middle of a cornfield. Like I went to school at Parkside down in Kenosha, but you actually might end up liking those different settings that you're not used to.
Northland College.
Yeah, well, like Galen said, I know a lot of people on this call, and I will say we're all really cool, and don't be afraid to reach out to us, right? We're here to be resources and to help you with your college search and answer those questions. So never hesitate to send us an email, postcard, phone call, whatever works for you, but don't be afraid to ask questions throughout your search.
And last but not least, University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Yeah, you all took mine. So shows how awesome you all are. Yeah, I think one is stay deadline driven. That's incredibly important because we are deadline driven on our side. And so being very organized throughout the process is incredibly important. And just look at everything, see, try everything, read about everything. This is the third school that I have worked for, and they have all been very different from each other. And there's so many amazing institutions out there, but you don't know what you don't know. So look at everything.
Thank you all for sharing your advice, and we're almost out of time. So I also want to thank you for sharing all of the information about your institutions. I want to thank our attendees for joining us for this session. When you close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted. Be sure not to sign up for additional sessions. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Texas. Once again, thank you to each of our presenters for sharing great information tonight. And I hope all of you have a great rest of your Monday. Take care.